My partner has 2 kids, and we get those 2 kids 2.5 days a week. And what nothing and no one could have ever prepared me for is...
Yo, 2.5 days a week is wild. I don't even know how you could parent in 2.5 days out of the week.
Between having them home with us and not having them home with us. They just went back to mom's, and I don't know what to do with myself. 2.5 days is not enough. I do everything in my power for those 2.5 days without any interruption to facilitate time with just dad, to facilitate time with both of us, to make sure, dinner is on the table, lunch is on the table, snackle boxes are packed, breakfast is wholesome, and gonna power them through the day and teach them and do flashcards for learning how to read and filling their world with art and experiences and learning and fun, cool shit.
Look, honestly, I hope you're married to this man. Or I hope there's marriage in the future, because this will almost always never end well. I'm speaking from experience. I'm going to keep the same energy that I have for men when I say men should never become step parent. Men should never be a step baby daddy at all. I'll keep the same exact energy for women with no kids. If you have 0 kids, you should think long and hard before getting involved with a man who already has children. Because in the overwhelming majority of cases, it's not going to end in peace, love, and this happy blended family type reality. It's just not going to happen. Trust me. I know from experience. In the United States alone, over 60% of second marriages that involve children from a prior relationship end in divorce. That's not an opinion. That's well documented. Because blended families come with what? They come with conflict. Period. And the children will always, no matter what, align themselves with their mother. And that's what you hear in this young woman's voice. It's crazy. She's pouring her heart and soul into 2.5 days. By cooking, cleaning, teaching, organizing, filling every moment with what she believes to be love. I hope you're married to this man. I really do. Because at the end of these days, when the kids go back to mom, you're left with nothing. Silence. That emptiness that you feel, that's the reality of trying to give your life to children that will never fully receive it. Speaking as a man with children, where I was in this situation, I'll be honest with you, the moment I considered getting married again, I had to tell my wife straight up, look, do not have any expectations with my kids. I told her, reciprocate the same energy they give you. Don't force it. Don't try to replace their mother. Don't compete with their loyalty. Your job is to just love me. And that alone will show them who you are. And even then, it still might not be enough. See, what this woman is struggling with is purpose. She's trying to create purpose by becoming a substitute mother to kids that don't see her that way. That's why she appears to be restless and depressed. That's why she doesn't know what to do when they leave. This is why I said she may need a job, a hobby, or she may need to have her own kids. See, the truth is, if she wants that purpose, she needs to have children with her partner. And hopefully they're married. She needs to have her own children. Because when you have your own children, your loyalty and energy are invested into your own bloodline. Your children will never be torn between you and another woman if you don't allow it to. They will never leave you questioning where their allegiance lies. And let's be honest, there is no reward for a woman or a man who has no kids to enter a relationship and attempt to raise somebody else's children as if they were their own. You will always come in second place. You will always live under the shadow of the biological parent. Even if that parent is terrible, she could be a horrible person, a crackhead whore. The children will cling to them, defend them, and side with them. It doesn't matter. That is just the way it is. So my advice to women in this position is simple. If you're going to get with a man with kids, stop looking, number one, for validation from kids who aren't yours. And stop trying to build your life around someone else's family tree. Love your man as best as you can. Prioritize him as best as you can. Have your own children. Because your purpose in life as a wife and mother will never be fulfilled through someone else's kids. That may sound harsh, but it's free. It's reality, man. If I'm lying, leave it in the comments. Before you step into a man's life with kids, you got to ask yourself, am I ready to build my life around another woman's children? Or am I ready to build my own? Because the difference between those two choices will determine whether you spend your years fulfilled or eventually resenting your man. That is the God's honest truth. And for the fellas out there, if you have children, man, and you're trying to get with a woman with no children, you have to be exceptional, in my opinion. You owe it to any woman you bring into your life to set the tone. Don't sell her a dream she can't live. You got to be honest with them from the very beginning if you do not want to have children. If you can't financially provide for them, you got to leave them alone. And if you don't want to have any more children, you got to let them know from the very beginning. That honesty can save both you and her a lot of headache in the long run. And at the end of the day, honestly, children are legacy, and legacy belongs to bloodlines. If you're pouring your life into someone else's legacy, then where does that leave yours? That's a question every woman in her position should be asking before it's too late. I'm going to leave that there. Look, I'm the exception to the rule. And I'm sure there are many of you that may be the exception to the rule. You got to be a different type of man to be able to provide for not only your children, but your future children if you're going to take on this relationship with someone who's single, with no kids, and young. I'm going to leave that there. What say you? Leave it in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one.